So I said that the band went into Maida Vale Studios just after playing the Roundhouse in Camden. They did a couple of shows in the UK. They did Manchester and London. The show was incredible. For a start, I mean, there was no support band. There was a wrestling ring on the stage. They had luchadors, Mexican wrestlers in masks, wrestling as support. And then when the band actually played, the ring stayed in the middle of the stage. It was surrounded by enormous video screens, and the wrestlers kind of hung out on sort of benches at the side whilst the band were playing. There were certain songs where Maynard and Karina were actually in the ring, some where they were out, and the wrestlers were acting out parts of songs, interacting with stuff that was going on the video screens. There was one bit where they built a fake kind of ring for cockfighting and had these radio-controlled cockerels, having cockfighting cockerels, and there was a lot going on. So after they did the session, I caught up with Maynard, and that was one of the first things that we talked about. There was so much going on with the show, visually, and it sounded impeccable as well. And that place is notoriously bad sounding. It's a really tough ring. It's a round building. It's hard to really get the sound right. And depending on where you're standing, the things disappear, I would imagine. Yeah. You have to move around a little bit to really hear things properly. Yeah, it sounded great. And it looked amazing. Yeah, it was a tough room to kind of figure out how to fit the show in there. Apparently it worked out. People seemed to like it. Yeah, I think that was the general vibe. How did you come about with the idea of the luchadors and everything? Well, normally when we're doing our shows, there's always a filmed element to it. We'll do a couple songs, then we'll be doing some kind of activity while a video bits is going on. Yeah. So kind of interim bits. We were going to go film the luchadors and kind of have a story attached to what they're doing, and they were like, why don't we just come out with you? Like, all right. I like the fact that there was certain points, like when you did the Remedy, there's almost like it becomes this theatrical piece where they're arguing and the dancing and stuff as well. It was a good look. Yeah, the luchador thing's probably a little odd for the English to quite grasp, but there's this whole cultural thing down in the Southwest, and the Mexican luchadors. A lot of the characters have their stories attached to them, so people kind of follow those characters like they would a soap opera. It's less bombastic than the WWE stuff, the breaking the chairs over the guys. Yeah, amazing. You do speak like someone who's never been smacked in the flipping mouth. Amazing. So after the session, when I was speaking to Maynard, obviously there's a lot of comedy in Puscifer. It was there in the show. There were little skits filmed. There were bits. There was obvious comedy, but I think there's also a lot that gets overlooked within Tool and also in A Perfect Circle, because, I mean, let's face it, Tool's one of the best bands on the planet. And people tend to take those things to heart, and they might miss the humour in it sometimes. So that was one of the things I wanted to speak to him about. Every time you've done something with Puscifer that I've always thought is that how much comedy there is in it, but then it's not just this, is it? It's everything you do, and it just seems like it gets missed at times. Do you feel that way? I can see that with the other projects. Some of the comedy being missed because it is subtle. It's there. Yeah. But with Puscifer, it's a little bit more up in your face. If you don't, if you don't get the Andy Kaufman, Monty Python elements of this project, you're asleep or something. I don't know. That's how it started, right? Was it on Mr. Show? Was that the first thing? No, actually, Puscifer was we were already doing stuff with Laura Milligan in the local comedy club. Okay. Her show was called Tantrum, kind of variety show. With a lot of comedians kind of working out their bits and working out their parts in this kind of very safe comedic setting with peers, and there's people coming who pay to see the show as well, but a lot of early upstarts in that venue with
Brian Posehn, Patton Oswalt, Blanket Patch, Craig Anton. I think Will Ferrell actually came through with Simpatico at one point.
Yeah.
Tenacious D would usually close the show on odd nights. So it was quite it was before you even heard any of these names. This is what we were doing in these clubs, and Puscifer was kind of the other band that was kind of closing the show when Tenacious D wasn't.
In session for Radio 1's Rock Show.
holy crown and throne. Why can't I cross this river? Pay no mind to the battles you've won. It'll take a lot more than rage and muscle. Open your heart and hands, my son, or you'll never make it over the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. 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 Nature, nurture, heaven and and together we'll cross the river.
So, Puscifer in session. I should point out that, so basically, the band went into Maida Vale, 1st of June. It was the day after their show where they headlined the Roundhouse in Camden. And they picked 4 songs to play. And one of them, this first one that you're going to hear, The Remedy, has some profanity in it. And whilst I was out of because I went down to Maida Vale to watch the session, whilst I was out of the control room at one point, they did a run through. There was a bit of discussion about what they were going to do and could they have the profanity on the show and blah blah blah. And somebody said no, they're going to have to do an edit of it. So he changed the offending words. Not that it was offending, but you know what I'm saying. And I came back into the studio as they were doing a run-through of it. And it got to the point where I was expecting the swear word. And then I was like, oh, wow, why did they do that? It's fine, we'll play it in the 3rd hour of the show. We'll put a warning out. And we're all good. They don't have to edit. But Maynard liked it with the edit. So when they re-recorded it again, on the second run through, they left it in. Alright? Special treat for you. This is Puscifer in session.